It's Friday, 7:30 p.m. So you already know what time it is. You know who's here. This is your man's Cool McCain, Play Caller Sports Talk. And I'm joined as always by my guy.
That be your boy Steven Box, but together they call us something else.
And
I know my co-host gonna
if you're
let you
new,
know what that is.
if you do, never seen this before, first time, if you've seen this before, whatever that is, what I just want you to know is remember the name.
The
The
play
Play
callers.
Callers. And there's one thing
Also
about the
known
play
as
callers. Oh yeah. How about it,
also
sir?
known as the tag team champions of interactive sports talk. Y'all know what it
Tag
is.
team champions. And that's Universal and WWE. You can
It's
throw
all
in TNA, you can throw in AEW, Ring of Honor, all of them with the Tag Team Champions of Sports Talk. Just so you're clear.
because this is the most electrifying sports talk show on the internet.
But y'all, we got a lot going on in the world of sports. All right, we got NBA, NCAA men's and women's basketball, football, and we still in the middle of this thing you might know a little something about called the NFL season. So, thankfully, your boys got you. And one of the things about us, as you see right below me, always interactive. And in case you're not sure what that means, I don't know what to tell you. Always interactive. But it's time to get popping. It's time to get cracking. It's time to dig into the meat and potatoes, maybe some grits, some cheese eggs, a T-bone steak and Welch's grape, all that good stuff.
I'm trying to figure out if you're quoting Biggie or getting ready for Thanksgiving, bro.
Oh, my Thanksgiving is going to look a lot different, sir. So I am not getting ready for Thanksgiving. But NBA wise, tonight, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna hit you real quick with the top, with your teams, not even the top, with your power rankings. Give you a chance to kind of see the movement, and I feel like this more or gives you a chance to see where teams are moving. If they're moving up, they're moving down. What their positioning is. So we'll start at number 30, all the way at the bottom. Worst team, wins and loss wise in the NBA, and I bet you guess what that is. Actually, you won't. At least if you're me. So at number 30, the Washington Wizards. They were 30 last week as well, so no movement. They're 2-8. That says all you need to say about that. All right, and then right above them at 29, down one from 28 last week, the Detroit Pistons. They're 2-10. All right, and then at 28, and we knew they were going to be down at the bottom somewhere. The Memphis Grizzlies. They're 2-9. They're up one from 29. Grizzlies making moves. One spot. All right, and then stagnant at 3-7, just a little bit better than those bottom teams. The Charlotte Hornets. They're 3-7, so yeah, not very good.
They're a few spots higher than you thought they'd be.
That's fair. I thought they would be 31, and there's only 30 teams. There's
He's
at
still young.
26.
He's still young, though.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, season's still young enough. They'll end up down there. And at number 26, we have the Portland Trail Blazers at 3-7. They are down one spot from 25 last week. All right, and then up one spot from 26 to 25 this week, the Utah Jazz. They're a whole whopping 4-7. All right, and then we got the San Antonio Spurs at 24. They're 3-8, and they have big drop from 21, 3 spots, 24. I'm kidding, guys. I'm sure you already know that, but just in case. All right, and then at number 23, We have the 4-7 Chicago Bulls, who actually managed to move up a spot from 24. And then don't know how they're here. Actually, I do know how they're here. At number 22, the New Orleans Pelicans, with a whopping 11 spot drop. They are 5-6. And bad news for New Orleans, they've got Denver November 17th, which is today. So, yeah. And then number 21, the Toronto Raptors, they're 5-5. Their previous ranking was 23, so they are up 2 spots. Let's get it, Toronto. All right, and then we have the Brooklyn Nets at 20. They're down 1 spot from 19, 6-5 for those guys. Amazing they managed to improve without Ben Simmons. I just need to say that because I just need to. And then at number 19, we have the LA Clippers. Funny how they're 19 and they're 3-7, but they are down 8 spots from previously last week. But it's funny how they're still that high at 3-7. Got a lot of teams behind them. They have more wins. Just things that make you go, All right, and then at 18, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers at 4-6. They are down from 13, 5 spots. So there's got to be some movement up, right, with all these teams moving down, at least in my mind. But stagnant at number 17 and stagnant in their record at 5-5, the Orlando Magic, same place, nothing's changed. All right, and then Phoenix Suns, they are down 4 spots to 16 from 12. They are 4-6. So another teams with more wins are behind them. So interesting. All right, and at number 15, we have your Los Angeles Lakers at 6-5, and they're up 1 spot from 16. At 14, we have the Atlanta Hawks at 6-4. They are down 5 spots from 9. My biggest question: how in the world would Atlanta Hawks at 9? That's just what in the world? All right, and at number 13, we have the New York Knickerbockers at 5-5. They're up 1 spot from 14. All right, and then we're almost at the top 10, y'all. So we're at the top 10 plus 2. We'll do it like they do in some of the different rankings, top 10 plus 2. So at 12, Sacramento Kings, 5-4. They were 20th last week, so a nice 8-spot jump. And then biggest jump, which actually mirrors the biggest drop, the Houston Rockets, 6-3. They were previously 22, now they're 11. Shout out to the Rockets. That team looks good this year. They've even beat Denver. And at number 10, we have stagnant in the rankings, 7-4, Oklahoma City Thunder. I like that they, kind of staying stagnant and still hanging around the top 10. That's a young team still with some growing to do, but I like seeing them trending on the upward, at least in the power rankings. At number 9, we have the Miami Heat at 7-4. They are up from 18 last week, so a 9-spot jump from them. Number 8, we have the Golden State Warriors at 6-6. They are down 4 spots from 4 last week. At number 7, Indiana Pacers, 7-4. They're up 8 spots from 15 last week to 7. I like that move. Indiana's playing well as well. Tyrese Halliburton, at least for this early part of the season, he's getting it in. Number 6, we have the Milwaukee Bucks at 6-4. They're up 1 spot from 7. Damian Lillard was back, but still, the argument I made about Drew Holiday, he's making it right so far. All right, number 5, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're 8-2, up 1 spot from 6 last week. Number 4, we have the Dallas Mavericks. They're up 1 spot from 5 last week. Tim Hardaway's playing like a 6th Man of the Year candidate. That's one of the big differences in Dallas. So I'd like to see that too, because Tim Hardaway is a guy, Tim Hardaway Jr., let me say, just so we don't have any confusion. He's a guy I like. I like him. And then number 3, we have Boston Celtics at 8-2. They were 2 last week, so they're down 1 spot. And then the top 2, we know who they are, clearly. Number 2, Philadelphia 76ers, also 8-2, up one spot from 3 last week. And then number 1, staying stagnant there because you can't go any higher. The reigning and defending champions, the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray has a hamstring injury, so he's been out the last couple of games. Still getting the job done in Denver. They're at 9-2. But, you know, the interesting thing about early season power rankings, why I kind of go back and forth between them and the standings for you guys and gals, just want to give you an idea of kind of what's happening. I mean, early in the season, we could talk about all these teams got 7 wins. This player has 30 points a game, blah, blah, blah. But how much difference does it really make early in the season? But kind of the ranking, seeing how teams are playing and how they're moving up and down, sometimes standing, seeing, all right, these guys, the power rankings last week said they were 5th, but they're sitting at 7th in the East. So what's happening? Like, it kind of gives you a little bit of that back and forth to see both sides of it early in the season until we start getting enough information to really start talking about what teams are doing well, what players are doing well, and some of this stuff averages out. Sometimes you have guys come out, they have a real good start to the season, and then they kind of tail down. We have guys that come out early in the season, don't play too well. As the season gets going, maybe they're with a new team, new injury, new system, and they start to, well, coming back from an injury, I should say, and they start to, kind of elevate a little bit. So we're just kind of playing that waiting game in between. But guys, NBA's here, and it's going to be here for a while. It's 82 games, baby. And of course, we could, but we're not going to talk about that tournament. There are some more of those games tonight, so whatever.
I saw the Lakers eliminated the Grizzlies from the play-in tournament, and I didn't know whether to be mad at my team for still being in it or mad that the Grizzlies get to not be in it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not a lot. There's not a lot to say about that tournament, man. I mean, it's not the horriblest thing, but it's definitely nowhere near the greatest. It's like
It's just pointless.
Yes.
That's
I was
the
trying to
bottom line.
find
It's just
something.
pointless. Yeah.
Yes, that is 100,000 million percent accurate. It is definitely pointless. So, quick move over to college basketball. So, for college basketball, just gonna talk about some of the intriguing things that will be happening here. So, what I want people to kind of grab is college basketball is fun, right? You get early in the season, you don't get a lot of intriguing matchups because teams kind of this is the point of the season where you kind of see. There's no other way to say it. This is the point of the season where you see the cupcakes being played. So it's more difficult to find like an interesting matchup per se. But what you can find is teams that you might have questions about and them in a matchup. So there are a couple of those. So right now, Duke is playing Bucknell. Duke's up 84-52. Duke was high-ranked team, caught a bad loss. So bounce back time, and it looks like they are, taking care of bouncing back. Another one is to look out for is UNC, number 20 this year right now. They're playing UC Riverside, so this is not a team that should really challenge UNC. But can UNC go out and do the same thing that Duke's doing and some of these other guys and really just put their foot on this team's throat and say, you're not going to be in this game? We're going to come out from pillar to post and we're going to dominate you. And then heads up, James Madison. Right now, they're down 35-39 to Radford at halftime. They're ranked 24. They are ranked, but they're ranked low. You look at teams like Alabama against Mercer, Villanova against Maryland. That's a game that Villanova better be prepared for. So not a lot there. Tomorrow, neither one of those games should be, close at all. You get to Sunday, you got an intriguing matchup between number 19 Texas and Louisville. Louisville is not currently ranked, but Louisville is always a difficult team to play against. Louisville is one of those teams that always plays you really well. So I'm excited to see that matchup and see where that goes. Any matchups that you were intrigued to see?
No, not really. I mean, I haven't started too much watching any college basketball yet, so uh, you know, For me, I gotta kind of keep an eye on Florida State. See, are we actually going to be any good this year? 2-0. Won both games pretty convincingly, but like you said, cupcake games. So not too much of a surprise, but we'll see as the season starts to unfold a little bit here and get a better idea of who the good matchups really are.
That's fair. Now, for women, there's a couple of things I have to point out here. So, newly appointed number one, South Carolina, put a century 109 on Clemson yesterday. But if we're going to talk about that, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about the 105-36 victory Virginia Tech had over HCU. And if you're wondering who HCU is, that's the Houston Baptist Huskies. And yeah, they got dealt with very ugly.
Ugly.
Ugly. Not
Okay.
ugly.
Ugly.
Yeah. So that was a couple to point out just because of how just violent they were. Also, I have to talk about Kansas State and what they were able to do. So Kansas State went out yesterday and beat Iowa 65-58. Iowa was most people's presumptive top one or two team in the country for most of the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because they had Caitlin Clark. Just like LSU, your preseason number one, get that early season loss. And truthfully, it's more prominent in women's basketball for a team to, go out and lose, especially when it's close games, 58-65, just because, you kind of catch the right team and they play you well. The teams are very fundamental in the defensive end. So that kind of makes a difference at times as well. Now, we also have number 19 Louisville yesterday, who won 111-33 against Bellarmine, which is another small university. So, yeah, a couple of teams over the century mark yesterday, three of them. Texas and LSU did it on Tuesday as well. Texas 110-64 over UT Arlington. LSU 109-79 over Kent State. UCLA, they beat the same Bellarmine team 113-64 last Sunday. So, Ohio State 108-58 over IUPUI, and then South Carolina over Maryland 114-76. Oklahoma 25 Oklahoma 103-74. Notre Dame 104-57. So I point those out just to say there's a lot of women's teams. If you catch them at the wrong time, you are going to get dealt with. And it's happening, right? But those teams can also be beat at times as well. So I like the intrigue. LSU has another chance tonight to show what they got. And since we're talking top 25 teams and intriguing matchups, your Lady Seminoles won today 79-75 over Florida. I know you're happy anytime a Florida State team, no matter what sport, beats Florida. So I want to make sure you were aware of that. UNC plays Elon tomorrow. UNC is number 17 in the women, so actually higher ranked with the women. And then really not a lot of good matchups on Saturday with the women's side. And once you get to Sunday, looking to see if there's anything that really jumps out at you. There's not really any intriguing matchups. We'll see if we get some more of those century marks put up on some teams. But yeah, Iowa does have a chance on Sunday against Drake to make a statement to kind of get back for the L that they took. And I'm sure that Iowa will use that to the foremost of their abilities and ensure that they get that L back. So, yeah, man.
Well, I will just let you know. I just took a peek, and the men's teams are also playing for Florida and Florida State today. And right now, Florida is beating us about as badly as I think we're going to beat their football team. They are up 47-18 with about a minute left in the first, so they might put up a century on us today. And this is why I don't personally care about college football, basketball until the tournament comes.
Well, man, if you let somebody put up a century mark on you, 100 burger, bro, that's tough. All right, so we'll switch over to college football. So we know the new top 25 poll hit.
Mm-hmm.
So anything from the new poll, besides, of course, Georgia taking their, in my opinion, rightful place at number one, um, or anything from week 11 that you'd like to touch on before we kind of get to what's happening this week in college football.
I mean, I think for the most part, the rankings kind of are where they need to be right now. I know there's some people that may not agree whether Florida State or Washington should be 5 or 4 or whatever, like which one should be where. But at the end of the day, we know Michigan, Ohio State, one of them is going to lose. If both teams went out, they're in. So it really doesn't matter.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Anything from week 11 you want to talk about? Man? Any game you want to touch on? Any play? Any thoughts?
I mean, the one that I think obviously stands out in terms of the games themselves is you got to look at what Georgia went out there and did to Ole Miss. I mean, just absolutely dominated them. And I don't know what we're about to talk about now, but I mean, obviously we had some head coaches get fired. We've got rumors of people wanting to come back, and maybe a certain high profile quarterback wanting to transfer. So a lot of stuff going on in college football right now.
Yeah, man. If you would like, man, we could take a few moments here, and you can bless the people with that information that you're referring to.
Yeah. Well, I think in an absolute first ever, we had the 2 coaches from the same game get fired. Jimbo Fisher, as we all know, $76 million is going to cost them to just buy out his contract and fire him. All fully guaranteed. Doesn't matter. He could go get a job tomorrow and he still gets every single bit of that money. To put this into context for you, every Florida State fan that I know will tell you 100% that Jameis Winston is the only reason why Jimbo Fisher ever won anything in the first place. Jimbo Fisher's buyout by itself is more than Jameis Winston's career earnings. That's how grossly overpaid Jimbo Fisher was by Texas A&M. So all I can say is thank you guys for taking him off our hands. We really appreciate it. Thank you. I feel bad for the coach of Mississippi State, not necessarily because Arnett is his name, not necessarily because he was this great coach. I feel like got kind of shafted. It was what we always talk about. You never want to take over for a legend, and unfortunately, he had the opportunity to take over after Mike Leach passed, and it was just too big for him. Like he couldn't fill those shoes. So probably could have seen this one coming for a while. In other news, something else happened yesterday, or it might have been this morning. I can't remember. But Jim Harbaugh and Michigan have decided to go ahead and accept that 3-game suspension, just like we said they should. They decided they're going to go ahead and do it because apparently there was some new information that came to light. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what the new information was. The NCAA came in and said, look, if you accept the suspension, we might not dig into it anymore. But if you press this issue, we're going to start digging into it. And they said, oh, no, it's okay. Just go ahead and take our suspension.
Absolutely. So Billy V says, I watched Florida play last week against UVA and must say they look pretty strong, especially at guard with their shooting.
Well, they're certainly looking strong against us tonight.
Yeah, Florida, the area, they breed basketball and football players all day. So I'm not surprised that Florida's kind of getting the edge in basketball with the way Florida State looks in football. Florida State's obviously focused on their football program right now. and rightfully so. But yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Hey, I said when they shut everything down in 2020, I said they took our absolute best chance to ever win a national championship away, and I was not wrong.
Yeah, you have been lamenting that since that point happened.
Because we're probably never going to get one. I mean, at least not as long as Leonard Hamilton's there. And I mean, I like Leonard Hamilton, but he's like at this point, I don't think he's going to be able to build us into a contender before he hangs it up.
And that's fair. That's very fair. So before we move on, if you are watching us on anywhere other than YouTube, there's a couple other places you can catch us right now. Make sure you also hop over to playcallersportstalk.com/live. And if you'd like to interact with us, if you'd like to, maybe post questions to us, maybe comment on some of the things we say, disagree with us, agree with us, however, feel free to do so. We love the interaction. And again, always interactive. Just want to point that out. All right, Stephen, I know you were discussing some different things that happened in college football. I believe I didn't get a chance to see the entirety of the story, but I believe there was someone that was relieved of their job within Michigan today for being a snitch.
Yeah, it was a linebacker coach.
Okay.
I didn't look at all the details of it, but yeah, it was a linebacker coach. Which
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, oh, we fired our linebacker coach feels kind of like scapegoat to me. Just
Well, from what I did see when I was able to glance over it, he was feeding information to sources outside of the team. And that will definitely get you fired under any circumstances. You could be the head coach, and that would get you fired.
Although I will say this. If you're not doing things you're not supposed to be doing, there won't be anything for anybody to go and tell. Not condoning the snitching. I'm just saying, stop doing stuff you ain't supposed to be doing, and you ain't got to worry about it.
But when you're a disciple of the Belichick school of cheating, sir, you can't just stop. You can't.
Yeah.
Never gonna let that go. Never gonna let that go, y'all.
Never gonna let go.
Never gonna let that go. I teach my kids, my nieces and nephews, they cheaters.
It's not gonna be another thing that's gonna be interesting is obviously right now you're gonna have a lot of speculation about coaches taking on some of the new jobs, what other coaches might be getting fired. So it's gonna be interesting to see what some of the recruiting battles going on right now, how that might get affected. Also, Texas quarterback yours is saying that he's possibly going to come back next year. So rumors have already started that Arch Manning is going to the transfer portal. So it's gonna be some interesting stories to kind of keep an eye on in the offseason.
And honestly, man, I couldn't blame Arch if he decided to go somewhere else because of that. Hey, Arch, I mean, I just want to say to you, there's a school, lots of athletes, not very good at the quarterback position. Coach might not be the best, but you don't really need a coach. Your dad, your uncles, your granddad, they can all coach you. So if you want to come and hang out for a few years, party, live on South Beach, you know what I'm saying, hang, get your tan, enjoy your celebrity status as a Manning, Miami's going to need a quarterback because Van Dyke is definitely not the answer. Just saying. Garcia, maybe, but hey, come through, man. Come through. It's all yours. Here's a platter, starting job. Here you go.
Well, I would just point out that there's a team slightly north of Miami that quarterback is going to not have any eligibility for next year. So Jordan Travis is going to be gone. And you're going to be able to come into a program that's very successful right now and potentially be the starting quarterback there, which probably gives you a better chance of success than
You
going.
heard that? You heard that? The dirty P word. See, this is what the teams like that do. This is what teams like that do. They want you to compete for the start. You're Arch Manning. The audacity of teams to make you compete for the starting job. Silver platter, starting job. Here you go. All I'm saying.
Hey, Hey, if you want to go play with people who are desperate, Miami's the place for you.
All I'm saying, Arch, the haters are gonna hate. But if we had a quarterback the caliber of you, which we probably haven't had in 15 to 20 years, with those other weapons that we have, it would be a contender.
I'm pretty
And
sure
remember, 12 teams next year, Arch. So all we gotta do is be one of the top 12 teams in the NCAA next year, and we can make the tournament
y'all ain't even won the top 25 this year.
because we don't have a quarterback.
Wouldn't matter.
Uh, you can hate, man. It would. It would definitely be a different if we had a
Your
quarterback.
your coach will find a way to screw it up. He always
Any
does.
team that has a really good college quarterback always has a chance. Teams that don't, like Miami, the past 15 or so years, don't have a chance. All I'm saying, Arch, listen to this guy if you want. He's just desperate to get somebody else in there because he knows once Jordan Travis leave, they're going to be back down there with us next year. And he's just trying to find a way to not be back down there with us. We're just trying to find a way to get out of that position. And, I feel like your skill set, your lineage, your understanding of the game of football would be very beneficial to the Miami Hurricanes next year. Do I expect you to come? No, I don't. I do not expect you to want to come and play for the Miami Hurricanes. I don't expect you want to go play for Florida State. You probably want to go play where your uncle played at Tennessee or your other uncle Ole Miss or somewhere. I don't know. I don't expect you to come, but I'm just saying
Hey,
it's always there.
AP's got a message for you.
So AP says you need more than a QB. Look at USC. AP, let me tell you something. Partner, quarterback with that team that we have, even with the seniors being gone, that's a team that has a chance to be in the top 12 next year. All jokes aside, coaching definitely a problem, but that's why you get a guy who the coaching won't hurt because he has guys as mentors that are NFL. One's a Hall of Famer, one's probably going to be, even though he doesn't deserve to be, and the granddad's a Hall of Famer as well. Just saying that could supersede some of this Mario Cristobal tomfoolery. And I think if Arch wanted to come and his granddad or one of his uncles say, "Hey, look, y'all get rid of Cristobal, Arch will come." Cristobal's out of there next year. We'll holler at you. So don't think Cristobal is unlet goable because he ain't done nothing since he's been there anyway. So
I would definitely hope he's let goable, sir. I would definitely
yeah,
hope y'all feel that way.
yeah, he's not unlet goable. He can be removed. I'm just saying. But AP, we do need more than we do need more than a QB. But a QB would solve a lot of the problems because a lot of people look better when they have a quality QB. Look at the Texans. And then when you don't have a quality QB, look at the Panthers. Just saying. Just saying. All right, sir. Now that I've said my piece, anything else that you have on college football before we get into our picks for this week?
Nope, I'm good, sir.
All right, good people. So we're gonna slide into these picks for the week. Hopefully, so we did these picks. I'm gonna be using, full disclosure, the same site that I did use on earlier this week when we did do our other show, and they had a couple of questionable positions, but it looks like everything's been cleared up. Maybe they were just in a hurry. So hopefully this is correct. If there is any issues, I know that my co-host will feel free to make sure that he lets me know. All right. So at number one, Georgia is. Wait a minute. Never mind.
Georgia's gonna win. We don't need to.
Yeah, Georgia's gonna win, but there's a little hiccup there. Something didn't. They have another little hiccup on this page, sir. Let me see if this corrects it.
Who's the webmaster for that page? Mario Cristobal?
It could possibly be because it's it's crazy. All right, so sir, do you have the games up because this is not working right?
Let me see. I got ESPN pulled up. I can just pull them off there. Go by time rather than what you call it. But
Yeah, it's fine because this is I'm gonna have to have a talk with NCAA.com for being this bad at this. Come on, guys. I expect more. Just say I expect more.
Saying so for being that bad, man. All right, here we go. Full scoreboard. All right, cool. So starting with the noon game, we got Michigan at Maryland.
Michigan.
Yeah. Then we have Chattanooga at Alabama. Obviously, Alabama.
Yeah. Yes.
I didn't know if you were gonna say anything or not. Okay.
No. I just found the right list. Go ahead.
Okay. Then we got Louisville at Miami. So if Louisville wins this game, they do lock in their spot in the ACC championship game against Florida State. Do your Hurricanes have any chance at all?
Guess what? No chance in where Vince McMahon used to say to win this game. No chance. No chance.
I see AP's comment. I'm going to get to it, but my comment still stands. Rutgers at Penn State. I'm going to go Penn State.
Definitely going to go Penn State.
UL Monroe at Ole Miss. I will take Ole Miss.
Whoever UL Monroe is playing, that's what I'm going with. Even if it's Miami.
Oklahoma at BYU. I'm gonna go Oklahoma.
They got to win at some point. We got to go Oklahoma. And just for y'all that may not have seen, AP says Georgia versus Tennessee. Doesn't matter. It's still Georgia. Yeah. I just want to make so those who did not see his comment.
Yeah. Well, it's coming up in a couple of picks. Then we got Tulane at Florida Atlantic.
Green wave, ride the wave.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Tulane this week. So interesting top 25 matchup. We got number 22 Utah going to number 17 Arizona.
I'm actually gonna say Utah.
I'm gonna take Arizona. I like the momentum that they got right now. All right, so the aforementioned number 1 Georgia at number 18 Tennessee.
Definitely Georgia.
Tennessee does not deserve to be at 18.
Well, they have to be at 18 so Georgia can continue to boost when they spank them.
So yeah, Georgia is going to run amok as well.
Mm-hmm. Whip that trick and all that.
Then we've got Illinois at Iowa. I'm going to take Iowa.
Yeah, I'm going to take Iowa too.
Then we've got Wake Forest at number 19, Notre Dame. I will go Notre Dame.
I'm going to go Wake. Why not?
I mean, I could give you a few reasons why not, but you do you.
I'm going to do me. You got to pull it upset out of nowhere sometimes. Let's go.
All right, we got number 20, North Carolina, traveling to Clemson. I'm calling upset. I'm calling upset. Clemson's winning home.
So I'm going to agree with that, but I'm going to say in my mind it's not really an upset. But I guess,
just by rankings, it is.
It is an upset.
Yeah,
it would be great for me if this game ended in a tie, but Clemson will win.
All right, we got Minnesota at Ohio State. Definitely go Ohio State.
Yes, definitely Ohio State.
Then we've got number 6 Oregon at Arizona State. It's going to be a beatdown. Is what that's going to be.
Man, you bugging. Arizona State about to get the Bizarro win. They catching the L just for y'all that didn't catch that.
Yeah. Number 23 Oklahoma State at Houston. Oklahoma State got embarrassed last week. I'm going to take them to bounce back this week.
Yeah, I am too. You don't get smacked around normally and then get smacked around or lose again. Unless you're the Panthers.
Got North Alabama traveling to Tallahassee to play the number 4 Florida State Seminoles. Gonna take Florida State.
Florida State's the best team in the ACC.
Well, North
Florida
Alabama's
State's-
not in the ACC, so that doesn't work this week.
I'm not finished. That's why you don't cut me off. Florida State, I will start again. Florida State's the best team in the ACC. Florida State's the top 4th team in the country. They're playing an unranked team who they should spank, and they will spank badly.
They need to spank them badly. Then we got number 21, K-State, traveling to number 25, Kansas. So obviously, we got to put this one on upset alert, but I'm going to pick K-State to win.
I'm going to pick K-State as well. I don't even think it should be on upset alert.
Okay. I mean, just, anytime you have these rivalry games like this, I always...
Kansas doesn't deserve to be in the top 25.
Fair enough. All right, now this could actually be an interesting one. We have number 5, Washington, traveling to number 11, Oregon State.
Washington.
I'm going to pick Washington too, but this one I will put on upset watch. Not upset alert, but upset watch.
I'll put this one on alert, but I think Washington wins. But I'll put this on alert because these matches this close in the rankings this late in the year, especially between two teams who are not going to be playing each other every year moving forward, this should be a good one.
Yeah. AP said Oregon State will make it a close game. I agree. And that's why I'm putting it on upset watch.
Yeah, I'm putting it on alert because I think it's going to be Ned Booty tight.
Ned Booty. Then we got Florida traveling to number 9, Missouri. Florida needs 1 win to become bowl eligible. They're not going to get it.
Nope. The only hope Florida has is that once there are not enough teams bowl eligible, a bowl picks them. That's the only way they're going to be in a bowl game.
Probably wouldn't even get it then. Then we've got number 7.
That's the only hope they have.
Yeah. Then we'll get number 7, Texas, traveling to Iowa State. I'm going to Texas got their quarterback back. I think they win.
I'm going to go Texas as well.
And then we got Georgia State at LSU. So I'm going to take
LSU with that bunny game.
Yeah.
Shame on you, LSU, in that bunny game.
So that is it for our top 25 matchups, sir. But I do have a question for you. You've been following Colorado all year. You were a huge Coach Prime fan. They've got a matchup against Washington State this week. And I remember Utah is their last game. So they've got Washington State and Utah left. Right now they have 4 wins. Do you think they can get to 6 wins and become bowl eligible?
They're going to get to 5. I think they're going to beat Washington State. I don't think they're going to beat Utah. But if they get to 5, there are not going to be enough teams that are going to have 6 wins. So the way it works is if there's not enough teams, then the bowls can invite teams that have 5 wins. So if Colorado can get the win this weekend, they will be in a bowl game because they're a draw.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
They just need to get to 5.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They could. I think it's reasonable to say they could win this week. And then if, like you said, if they get to 5 because of the lack of 6 and 6 teams, which is kind of crazy, that, we
got like all these undefeated teams and all these 1-loss teams. They got to beat somebody.
Yeah. But it's just crazy that we have that many people who couldn't even win 6 games this year.
It actually happens a lot of years. It just doesn't get publicized because they're in the Capital One Liberty Mutual Bowl, right?
So AP says Colorado's defense is trash. They can't put score or stop nobody on defense. I'm gonna tell you what else is trash is their offensive line.
They still could beat Washington State.
So
I mean, nothing you said was a lie, but it doesn't mean they can't beat Washington State with that because Washington State's not great.
I mean, I think they can beat Washington State. I wouldn't put money on it.
I wouldn't put money on nobody winning a game ever.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't put money on Georgia beating University of Louisiana Lafayette. Heck, I wouldn't put money on Florida State beating small corner Louisiana State University.
this dude says small corner.
Mama shit.
Can't with you, man. I can't with you.
Foosball is the devil.
But yeah, so that's our picks for the week, sir.
Perfect. So we've got NFL, but we've got a couple of injuries to talk about from Thursday night. Joe Burrow got handled in the worst way possible. Mark Andrews, another one that got one of them sling down tackles and got messed up. So after this game, Lamar Jackson's top target is out. And the Cincinnati Bengals starting quarterback, my other fantasy quarterback, is out. So my question to you, Stephen, is what do people do from here? You can't replace Joe Burrow. You can't replace Mark Andrews. What do people do from here?
Are we talking about from fantasy football perspective?
Yes, we're talking about from fantasy football. We know what the team's going to do. The Ravens are going to put in Ishmael. They just got to roll with it. The Bengals are going to have to start a dude that looks like not hot garbage, but not far from garbage. Maybe regular room temperature, but not far.
I mean, I'm just going to say this: if you have Mark Andrews, then just go ahead and accept the fact you're not going to get any production out of your tight end position for the rest of the year, because all the good tight ends are gone.
Oh, and by the way, Yahoo will take like forever to actually put him as out. So by the time you can put him on IR, it'll be a horrible situation. If you're just going to drop him, have at it.
Yeah. Joe Burrow's an interesting one because this is going to depend on the league that you're in, right? But I would go take a look and see what's out there. Some of the young quarterbacks, like CJ Stroud might still be out there. Bryce Young hasn't been putting up terrible numbers. I mean, probably not going to help you win a championship unless the rest of your team is like rock solid. But, maybe some of these younger quarterbacks, you might have a chance. Maybe no one's ran out and picked up Josh Dobbs in your league yet. Those might be your options. Unless you're in a league with two quarterbacks, in which case there's nobody. Just don't even bother.
Or you could be in a league with two quarterbacks, and you could have the foresight to say, CJ Stroud's going to be my third quarterback.
That wasn't really foresight as much as it was that you got forced into having to pick him up during a bye week because the person you had wasn't going to be able to play or
Actually, that's actually 1,000% incorrect and unfactual. No truth behind it. I drafted CJ Stroud. He had the same bye as Justin Herbert, so I actually had to go pick up Gardner Minshew. So that's completely unfactual information. I had the foresight. I believed in CJ Stroud before the season started, and that's why I made him my third quarterback.
Yeah. So more importantly, AP brings up a good point. He said, "Get Joe Flacco. He might be able to start soon." But his comment above that one, if you were to go and put that one up,
sure.
This was something I was actually going to bring up before you asked about the fantasy football thing. Is they kept showing during the game after the injury? Oh, we had this video of Joe Burrow showing up with his brace on his hand. I didn't see that on the injury reports.
Did not.
So after that whole Bijan Robinson thing.
And what did they end up doing with Bijan Robinson? Did they give the Falcons a slap on the wrist and a fine?
I don't even know what they ended up doing. I don't even know if they ended up being a punishment for it, but
yeah, there won't be much if they do anything because they just.
But you're talking about clearly you do something, and then the coach told us, I didn't even know he had an injury. Really, your quarterback showed up with a brace on his hand, and you didn't know there was something going wrong with him.
First of all, I was doing shows, so I'm mad because if I had known that this man showed up with a brace on his hand, I would have threw CJ Stroud in real quick and set his hind parts down. But hey,
but
it is what it is.
But you go out there, you clearly already had a pre-existing injury. Then when you got hit, It obviously made it worse. And then you tried to throw that ball, and we all saw what happened. We finally had a good Thursday night matchup, and Joe Burrow went out there and turned it into
about a quarter.
went out there and turned it into hot garbage.
Well, actually, the organization turned into hot garbage by not having a quality backup quarterback.
Well, man, when you paying that Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase money, you know.
That is true. That is true. And we're in the same situation in Philadelphia. Something happened to Jalen Hurts.
He says Burrow wasn't on the bus with a brace or in the locker room. Well, all I know is when he got off that plane, he had one on.
He said the coach saw something he was hiding that.
because I know the Amazon, they had their cameras all over that one, boy. They're like, oh, look at it, like look like TMZ shot that footage.
Man, Amazon be dry snitching, bro. Amazon. Hey, y'all, you heard about the reporter lady, right? The one that the reporter lady was lying. I think it's the Amazon lady. I forgot her name. And she was acting like she was having interviews with the coaches at halftime or talking to them and then lying about coming back and what they said. And she didn't ever talk to them.
It's a shame.
I didn't get a chance to rip on everything, but I'm like, how did she get caught?
Because somebody called her out.
Probably so. There's probably some coach of a team that sucks.
She messed around and says that they said something that actually they were mad they got attributed to them, and they was like, I never said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read some more into it to see exactly what happened with that. But
it's gotta be what happened, bro. This has got to be what happened.
We will see. So, sir, week 10 NFL. Any thoughts before we make these picks and roll up out of this spot for the evening?
Let's just make them, bro. Let's do it.
Let's get it. All right. So 1 p.m. We got the 6-3 Cowboys at the 1-8 Panthers. We both going Cowboys because yeah, the Panthers are garbage. Their line is a bunch of bull matadors. Ole, ole, ole.
Well, we all know Dallas can beat bad teams, so you know.
Yes. They're the adult that likes to bully the 5-year-old. That's Dallas.
I actually told our buddy Gilbert earlier today that the Cowboys are the NFC's version of the Dolphins. He couldn't disagree.
Okay, we got the 6-3 Steelers at the 6-3 Browns. I'm done with that one. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Pittsburgh. Cleveland is cursed, clearly.
I'm gonna go Cleveland. This is quarterbacks hurt. We got to band together. PJ Walker's our guy. We got to do it for Deshaun. Blah blah blah. I'm taking Cleveland this week, especially with their defense.
I mean, I like the defense. I don't know, man. For some reason I feel like Pittsburgh's gonna take it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like PJ Walker hadn't been playing because Deshaun been hurt all year, so you know.
Yeah.
All right, and then we've got the 3-7 Bears at the 7-2 Lions.
I'm gonna definitely go Lions.
The Bears are mad at themselves because they have 3 wins. I'm going Lions. There's no truth to that. That is a joke. So don't be running back trying to say you heard that the Bears are tanking. It's a joke.
It's one of those jokes with that element of truth to it.
Or is it? All right, you got the 4-5 Chargers at the 3-6 Packers. And it's funny because I don't like predicting ties. So somebody has to win this game. When I look at it, I say you got one team in the Chargers that know how to give away games. And you have another team in the Packers that don't really know how to win games. I'm going to give it to the Chargers. But this is about 50-50 as it gets.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, AP, that Thompson's actually going to be starting, but I wasn't. Dorian Thompson is going to be starting, but I wasn't 100%. So I just rolled with it.
Well, I'll have to go look at the reports from the day, but from everything I heard, that Walker's going to be the starter. But obviously, today they could have made a decision and made a change, but that's what's been
Yeah. Well, I was assuming.
circulated up to now that I've seen.
Yeah, I was assuming that maybe something got updated and I just hadn't seen it. So
yeah, it might have been updated. It's a possibility that could happen.
Yeah, Chargers and Packers.
All right.
I'm just gonna tell you what I said the same thing earlier. One team doesn't know how to win, the other team's just not capable of it. So I'm gonna go Chargers.
Fair enough. All right, and then we have the 2-8 Cardinals against the 5-4 Texans.
I think it's kind of funny how quickly Kyler Murray got back on the field after Josh Dobbs was playing pretty well. You got him up out of there, but I'm gonna go Houston.
Definitely going to go Houston. I agree. Kyler definitely said, hold up now, this dude playing too well. We're going to have to make some moves here. But it can't have my job. I need money for all my video games and my new chairs and sound systems and, what I'm saying, all that. So hold on now. I might need to get out here and do a little sign real quick. All right, and we'll move on here. We have the 3-6 Titans at the 6-3 Jaguars. It's not a good week to be a Titan. The Jaguars are pissed. They're ferocious Jaguars.
I don't really think it matters if they're pissed or not, but their defense has been very good this year about creating turnovers. I think they do that this week. I think they beat Tennessee.
Well, I said it because Tennessee has actually played really good against Jacksonville in the past couple of years. So I think they need that little bit of the edge to kind of push themselves. And I think they're going to get it, right? I think they're going to get it.
Okay.
So, AP, it looks as if there was an update today. I just went and looked at the put his comment back up here. It says I don't think the PJ Walker started, it's the Ricky Thompson starting. I went and looked at their depth chart, and AP, good job, sir. Good job. Thank you for that tad bit of information. It does show Dorian Thompson-Robinson as a starting quarterback, which is weird because they've been rolling with PJ. I think Thompson-Robinson is a much better option, if you ask me, from what he did in the preseason. He's a guy maybe get a look at and say, okay, this will be our guy in a couple of years, because we all know these fully guaranteed 4 or 5 year deals. Watson got one, but he only got a couple, like 3 years left. So, hey, good job, AP. I like that. Appreciate you correcting that outdated information that we had. All right, so we got the 5-5 Raiders at the 6-3 Miami Dolphins. Interesting.
Raiders have been playing well lately, but I'm going to give Miami the edge coming off the bye week.
I'm going to go with the Raiders because the Raiders have Debo coaching them now, and Debo is not playing at losing and coming in the locker room without giving it all. You're going to get Draymond Green if you do that.
Debo plays for the 49ers, sir.
No, I'm talking about the real Debo. Not no Debo. See, I'm talking about the real Debo.
With a real
what you got on my win, punk? That's what I'm talking about.
The real Debo is no longer with us, sir. Just saying.
The Debo is in Las Vegas. What you got on my win, punk? So yeah, I'm gonna go with them.
So AP has a question for you, and or a question for us, I should say, and I'm going to answer it very simply. No, because if you go look at the dead cap space that it would cost them to get rid of him, they can't afford it.
So if what he said, even if he outplays him, what he said, you've got to keep him on the team. I think he'll be the quarterback for the next few years, but I think that I want to make sure I say his name right because I always say it wrong. Thompson Robinson. I think he can play himself into being a quarterback of the future. You get a chance to have him sick for a couple of years. You obviously have to re-sign him, but you can probably re-sign him under the premise, hey, you're backup right now. So we'll see. But I don't think you can trade the contract. It's not about the player. This is why you have to make sure you don't sign these contracts. This is why no one else is getting these contracts.
Yeah. So I would have to go look at the exact ramifications of the trade itself. But as of right now, just looking at, his cap hits, even going into 2025, you're still talking 136 million in dead cap. 2026, you're talking about 72 billion. So, the other question is, who is going to trade you for that contract? Like, who's going to take that contract on?
I'm doing some quick research here. I want to see if he has a no trade clause in there or not.
I believe he did, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because he signed a 5-year deal. So, and remember that the deal didn't actually start until it was actually basically a 5-year extension. So it didn't even start until this year. I don't think it was, or last year maybe. So I don't think that they'd be opposed to considering moving him. I just don't think it's going to be feasible anytime soon. Yes, they are. They are very much in trouble. See, people, this is what we mean when we say we're interactive. We're in the middle of picks and we just stop and have a conversation about future contracts. That's what we do.
I wasn't able to determine if it was here. I know he had one in his previous contract. I'm sure that how desperate Cleveland was, he's probably got one, but we'll confirm it. I have an answer for you next week, AP. So you come back with us next week, and we'll have an answer for you on if he does have the no trade or not.
Look, this is all I'm gonna say about Deshaun Watson, and then we move on with our
Browns
picks.
are in trouble. They are in trouble.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna say this about Deshaun Watson, and then we can move on with our picks. Jimbo Fisher this week said, "No one will ever make more money than me for doing less." And Deshaun Watson said, "Hold up, player. Got something for you."
Wrong for that. He's real wrong for that.
Might be wrong, but correct.
That's true. All right, so we got the 2-8 Giants at the 4-6 Commanders. I'm definitely going to go Commanders here.
Yeah, I'm going to take anybody over the Giants at this point.
So we got the Buccaneers at the 49ers. I can say with all certainty and confidence, 1,000%, we're both taking the 49ers.
Yes. Brock Purdy's first game was against Tampa Bay. This one will end the exact same way that one did.
All right. And we got the 4-5 Jets at the 5-5 Bills. So I've been back and forth on this game. My official last stance, Buffalo's going to win this game.
Yeah. Wilson is questionable for this game. So they would need him at 100% to have a chance. I'm going to go Buffalo.
Oh, they might be better if Wilson not playing.
No, not that Wilson.
Oh, Garrett Wilson you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Without that Wilson,
yeah, wrong. Will I forgot that the quarterback's Wilson too. Sorry.
Gotcha. Yeah, without Garrett Wilson, yeah. That looks even worse. Yeah. All right, so we've got the 6-3 Seahawks at the 3-6 Rams. I know who you want to win for divisional rankings and purposes and all that good stuff, but Rams ain't beating Seattle.
Listen, the Rams always play the Seahawks tough. It could happen, but I don't think it will, so I'm picking Seattle.
And then we got the 6-4 Vikings at the surging 4-5 Broncos for your Sunday night football game, that I will find something better to do than watch probably.
I believe that the Broncos are a mirage. I'm going Minnesota.
I am on the Dobbs bandwagon, baby. JD is getting it. Vikings.
But by the way, shout out to Shady Sports Network.
What up, Sam? And Shady Sports. And definitely, man, y'all hit that like button, that subscribe button, that love button, and share this bad boy out. Tell everybody. Come through and holler at your boys. All right. So we got the last game, the prime time Monday night, 2 days before my birthday. Philly, I want a birthday present. This is it. We got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Kansas City Chiefs. A cheap plug, by the way, at 6:30 on Monday night on Eagles Elite and Shady Sports Network and other places. The pregame. We're doing them all year. We're running them. You look at my hat. You look behind me. You know who I got. Do I even need to say it? Philadelphia going to win this game, period.
Well, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs and the referees to win this game.
All right, and then AP says, watch the Giants somehow go up against Washington like always. It'll be a good game, but Washington will win. It'll be like when we play Washington. Washington against the Giants is like us against Washington. And then AP says, yes, Watson has a no-trade clause. I was pretty sure he did, but I couldn't find it because when I was doing my last-minute research on there, right then, it was talking about the previous contract. I couldn't find anything for the new one, so I was like, well, let me make sure before I say those words. But AP already gained his trust on what he finds.
Yes.
Yeah. So, guys, with that.
Oh, wait, sir. We're
not done. Hold on. With that, we're done with the peaks for this week. There is one more game that we're going to have to pick. And I don't think we're going to like this one as much as we did the one that we thought we were getting this past week. But let me make sure that I am correct. So I have a fuzzy memory, bad memory on that game. All right, and I was right. We had the 3-6 Packers at the 7-2 Lions. We can say Lions, and we can go on about our business for that one. We also have the day after my birthday, the Washington Commanders at 4-6 at the Dallas Cowboys at 6-3. I'm gonna pick the Commanders to upset the Cowboys in this game.
No, I'll pick the Cowboys. It's Thanksgiving.
And then that night, Telemundo and NBC, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Your San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks. Who do you have in that matchup, sir?
Well, it's always a tough matchup between the 49ers and the Seahawks. It's in Seattle. It's always a tough environment. It's a short week. But I'm taking the 49ers, of course.
Of course you are, and I am as well. All right. And then we have the special Friday game because the Thursday games are Thanksgiving games. So Amazon still got to get their game in. So Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, November 24th. Keep in mind, there's a game. Fantasy people, remember, there's a game. We got the Dolphins at the Jets. And this is going to be a good one. This is what you call strength versus strength. Seriously. What you got?
I'm going to have to go to Dolphins. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they're going to have both of their corners back probably by then. So I'm going to go Dolphins. Yeah,
I'm going to go Dolphins as well. The hope for the Jets is that they can get rough with Hill and Waddle. That could maybe change some things because we saw when the Dolphins played us and the Bills. If you start hitting Hill and Waddle, then sometimes they get alligator arms. So that would be the hope if you're the Jets to have an opportunity, but I think the Dolphins are going to handle things in this game.
And to reply to AP's comment about Chase Young playing against the Seahawks twice in 1 month, I would just also let you know, AP, that the 49ers play the Seahawks this week or for Thanksgiving. Then they play the Eagles 10 days later. And then a week after that, they play Seattle again.
Yep. So Chase gonna feel like he know the Seahawks.
He gonna know them very well.
But yeah, so we have completed our picks. So Steven, before we end things, is there anything else that you would like to say or share with our devoted fam?
No, I'm just gonna say, man, because we're not gonna be here next week. And it's Thanksgiving, so I just want to express some gratitude, and say thank you to everyone who tunes in, watches the show, whether it's on YouTube, on Roku, whether you tune in, listen to us on 99.1 or WDJY FM, regardless of where you come and listen to us. Really appreciate it. Much love to everybody, and hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
I want to also highlight AP here. He says the Jets might upset the Bills. And then he says the Vikings beating Denver. Jets could upset the Bills. I've been back and forth on that one, but I'm sticking with my final pick, the Bills.
I mean, picking anybody to upset the Bills isn't necessarily a bad
And honestly,
pick.
It's for selfish reasons that I'm picking the Bills. We play them next week, so you get the win. They feel like, then they come in and gets backed around. All right, so we got one last comment, Damien. You are lucky. You just slid that in, buddy. You just got that in there. All right, so he says, question, do y'all think Bengals head coach is on the hot seat after this controversy with Burrows? No, I don't.
No, I mean, not unless it comes out that Joe Burrow had like a very serious injury and he knew about it and he let him go out there and play anyways. Like, unless something like that comes out, I don't think there's going to be any hot seats.
Let me tell you something, man. Mike McDaniel put Tua Tagovailoa out there last year as a zombie corpse with half a brain. And what happened? Nothing. That tells fine. Maybe it's a little exaggeration.
I was just gonna wait for the kind of
But you understand the point. You understand the point.
Yeah, I figured I'd just wait for that to occur to you that
You understand the point.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to exaggerate to make sure the point is gotten across.
Well, congratulations on sprinting past the line on that one. I commend you.
I do what I do when I can do it. Like the water boy said, you can do it.
You did it.
I did it. I did it for the Rock. All right, guys. So, last but not least, tell 2 of your friends and 4 of your enemies. Because just because they don't like you doesn't mean they don't like us. And hopefully all 6 of those people come watch the show next week. Well, week after next. Because next week we won't be on.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, just go ahead and tell 6 of your friends and 4 of your enemies. Then we get 10 people. Let's do that.
Matter of fact, just tell everybody.
Tell everybody.
Don't tell everybody, even the mayor. All right. And I also want to say thanks to everyone that watches. Thanks to my partner as well. I've been doing this for a couple of years, man. We're seeing some growth, some traction, some things moving forward. Man, just stay tuned. You guys got big things coming.
Oh, by the way, one small thing for you. When we come back, we will have officially been on the air for 4 years.
Yes, sir. And with that being said, little things stopping, big things popping. Balling and suckers being broke is not an option. And we out.